Hey everybody, it's Lisa from the Silver Farmhouse. We are going to create this cute little primitive bucket full of carrots. What I'm using is a bucket. It's a cloth cream bucket that I found in Target for Easter in their $5 under section. It does have little ears on it. It is all fabric, but it's in Target's $5 under section for Easter. We are going to definitely coffee stain this up, but it's kind of like a little woven fabric basket. We are also going to fill this with some carrots that I found in Target. You get 3 in a pack for $3. They were in their Easter section, the $5 under section. They do carry some great Easter stuff for $5 or under. So these were $3 for a set of 3. We're going to coffee stain this basket up with our coffee mixture. You're going to need a spray bottle and some instant coffee. What my measurements for my coffee is 20 teaspoons of instant coffee. Make sure it's instant. You don't want to use the ground coffee that you brew. Get yourself a spray bottle, 1 cup of warm to hot water to 20 teaspoons of instant coffee. I mix mine in a little cup and then I dump it into my spray bottle. Whatever you don't use, you could just put it in the fridge. It's good for up until about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I like to get rid of it, clean my bottle out, and then start all over again. You may want some rubber gloves for this because coffee will stain your hands. So I'm just going to put on my rubber gloves. And what we're going to do is I'm going to spray the entire basket with this coffee mixture. You really don't have to do the inside of the basket, but I did because we are filling it with carrots. So just give your basket an entire coat of coffee. Is it going to get saturated and wet? Yes, it is, but don't worry about it because we're going to use a hairdryer to dry this up. Just make sure you get the handles, the ears, the bottom of the basket, and the outside of the basket. You can do the inside if you want to, but you don't have to. Now that we are just about done spraying our entire basket, notice the ears have a little wire in them, so it makes them a little bendable. I'm just going to touch up a few spots, and then we are going to go on to the next step. Grab yourself a hairdryer. It's great to have a hairdryer for drying up your crafts. Don't use anything but a hairdryer. Don't use a heat gun because it's going to burn or melt whatever you're trying to dry. This is going to take a few minutes, but we are not going to totally 100% dry this, but we do want it a little bit drier than it is right now. If you're looking to put some darker areas on your basket, simply give it a spray in a certain spot on your basket and then hit it with your hairdryer. I don't respray the entire basket. I just do certain spots on the basket like I did there, and then I hit it with my hairdryer for a few seconds. You can go around the basket in different spots and just give it a spray. Hit it with your hairdryer. It won't be 100% dry when you are done with this basket, but it will air dry the rest of the way. Grab your carrots next, give them all a spray with coffee, and then hit them with your hairdryer and dry them up. You can double spray your carrots if you would like to, but this will give them a nice, grungy, primitive look. Now that we are done grunging up our carrots, are they 100% dry? Mine aren't, but they'll dry the rest of the way in the basket. You can dry them 100% if you want. You can get your basket now. It may be still a little damp, but it's okay. I'm going to grunge it up a little bit more using a black ink pad and a piece of sponge. You can also use a larger paintbrush to add your ink. I simply just take my sponge. I'm going to rub it on my black ink pad, and I'm going to grunge up this basket to make it a little bit more primitive. I'll work the edges a little bit heavier than I do anything else. I'll make sure I get the handle, the rabbit ears, the bottom of the basket, the sides of the basket. You can put as much or as little ink as you want on here. It will just give you a more primitive, darker, kind of dirty look, kind of like it's been sitting in your basement. If you want, you can also grunge up your carrots with some ink. Even if they're a little damp, the ink will work well on them. Don't worry about it. They'll air dry with the ink on them. It's no big deal. Here's our basket, all nice and primitive up with that black ink. Next, we are going to start to fill our basket with the carrots. I am going to use a total of 9 carrots for this size basket. I am going to take a little bit of packing paper and put it in the bottom of my basket just for some fillers so I don't waste as much Spanish moss. You can use whatever you want to fill your basket. I like Spanish moss. I think it's a great farmhouse look. But you can also use hay, the dried hay they make, raffia, whatever you want to put in there. Add your Spanish moss, and I'm kind of going to open up a center hole in my Spanish moss so that my carrots will sit nice in the center. I like these carrots a lot because there's different patterns. One's a polka dot, one's a floral, one's a plaid. So I'm just going to add my carrots in, mixing the patterns throughout. And I'm also going to add a little Spanish moss in the center of them, in between each one, just to kind of space them out a little bit so they hold their own spot and they're not all clumped in the center. Now we have our basket all nice and full of carrots. It looks so cute. Listen, this is where you can get creative on your own. And whatever you want to decorate your basket with is going to be totally up to you. I do use some creepy cloth on the handle. Creepy cloth is a fabric I get at Halloween time at the Dollar Tree, but cheesecloth is just about the same thing. Creepy cloth is just a little bit bigger holes than cheesecloth. I do coffee stain my cheesecloth or creepy cloth up with the same coffee mixture that we use to stain our carrots in our basket. I am going to add some little wooden stars onto the bunny's ears. Each ear will get a star. Listen, these are just wooden stars that you can get at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, the Dollar. I think it's Family Dollar carries wooden stars. I just paint them black with matte black acrylic paint. I take a little sander to them once they're dry, just sand the edges. I like 80 grit sandpaper. It sands a lot easier. The heavier the grit, the less you have to work at getting that paint off. So I just sand the edges. And then what I like to do is I like to take antiquing wax. I use Waverly antiquing wax from Walmart, but any kind of antiquing wax will work. Just going to put a little bit on my finger. I'm going to dab the black paint on the star and where we sanded, and it's going to give it a nice brown tone. And then you just wipe it off gently with a paper towel, take off your excess antiquing wax, and then just hot glue these on the ears. They are really cute, inexpensive. You can also cut stars out of cardboard. If you don't have any wooden stars, just cut some small stars out of cardboard and do the same method. You can sand cardboard just like you do these wooden stars. I also am going to add a little hang tag to the front of my basket that says freshly picked. I get my hang tags off of Amazon. I use the same coffee mixture to spray them. You can also dip them into a bucket of this coffee mixture. I do bake my hang tags in the oven on 200 degrees. Keep an eye on them. I bake them for about 10 minutes, but believe me when I say I don't leave my ovens side when they are in the oven baking. Put them on a baking tray once you have them sprayed with coffee or dipped with coffee, and bake them for about 10 minutes. And then I just use an ultra fine Sharpie marker and I write on them. I like to dot my letters. I do rub a little ink on my coffee stained hang tags. Just the same method. Use your sponge or brush. Take your black ink pad and grunge it up a little bit, and then I'm going to glue it right on the front. So let's see what the outcome looks like. Here's our basket all finished up. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed how our basket came out. Thanks for watching the Silver Farmhouse.